Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/entitled people. In today's episode, my friend thinks she's entitled to my money because I don't want to go on vacation with her. Entitled friend messes around and finds out. She started asking me my credentials. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My friend thinks she's entitled to my money because I don't want to go on vacation with her. This just happened, and I'm really shocked, like I don't know how to even respond. Me, my friend, and her friend were planning to go away for the weekend in October for a little Halloween getaway. Nothing was ever confirmed and hotels were never booked, so it wasn't completely definite, like nothing was paid for. It was just an exciting idea. Unfortunately, I realized I can't afford to go. I have a lot of expenses to pay for over the next year. One of the expenses being student loans. My friend mentioned the Halloween getaway tonight. I told her it's not going to work because of my upcoming expenses, and I apologized. I also told her that I feel so bad it's not going to work. She seemed disappointed but seemed to understand. But also her boyfriend was there, so maybe it was her trying to seem cool in front of her? She just texted me that she didn't want to bring it up in front of her boyfriend to make me feel awkward, but she feels like it wasn't cool that I just backed out last minute. She also made me feel bad because now they have to split the cost 2 ways and not 3 ways. When I tried to clarify over text, she mentioned how much I spent over dinner and that I want to go shopping in a few weeks. So I can afford $65 per night for this getaway. I told her that I'm not talking about my finances with her and it doesn't concern her. She said she thinks it's more than me not wanting to go and said, "You're insulting my intelligence." She used the wrong "your" like it's supposed to be "your," but okay. I don't know what to even say. Nothing was booked yet and I didn't make a payment for my half of the trip to indicate a payment or commitment. Was I wrong for backing out? Was it too last minute? Or is she in the wrong for her reaction? Sounds like she is only making plans with you to pay for a part of it. You can't go, not your problem. I think you're right, she's only relying on my payment. She also said that she thinks it's more than just me not going financially, and she said, "You're questioning my intelligence." She used the wrong "your," but okay. This is a Halloween getaway, planned for September? Because that's the only way this is last minute. If it's planned for close to or on Halloween, this is over a month's notice. Nothing was definitive and nothing was paid for. You made no commitment to going, none of you did. You explained that you just can't afford it right now due to upcoming expenses, which is a completely understandable and very valid reason for backing out, especially of non-confirmed plans with nothing paid for yet. You can't go because you can't afford to. So don't go and don't pay for anything. The expense to the other two, if they still go, is not your problem. You are only obligated to yourself. Nothing was booked. It was an idea first. Until money is exchanged or a deposit made, there is always time to back out for the sake of your needs. That's what I was thinking. I didn't financially commit and there was no payment made. If that was the case and a payment was made, then I would honor that and go. But since there wasn't, I think I gave enough notice. Okay, 1, no, this isn't last minute. 2, you don't owe them anything. But 3, thanks a lot, Biden, for not coming through with dismissing those student loans. Don't blame Biden. He issued the order. The Supreme Court said he doesn't have the power. Has she done things like this before, made you feel bad for a decision? 'Cause this bad sign, but it's also an early opportunity to opt of her crazy behavior, before she demands you start donate money for her wedding dress, or a honeymoon to Fiji. I'm sorry you feel that way, but canceling well before any reservations were made is much time as I can you give. It leaves you ample time to find another third or make any changes you need to make it more affordable for you. Regarding your loans, I encourage you to look at the Save Repayment program Biden did institute. It will most likely reduce both your loan amount and monthly payment. Entitled friend messes around and finds out. I have known Colette for over a decade. She has kids from a previous relationship, and is one of those obnoxious parents, the kind who honestly believes her toddlers are perfectly behaved angels who can be taken anywhere and never cause any upset. She is completely delusional and thinks her kids never cry or have emotions other than sunshine and maturity beyond their years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but kids who are like that tend to be that way due to fear of consequences. Painful consequences. Colette isn't the greatest human, but she also doesn't abuse her kids. She is actually on the other end of the spectrum and spoils them rotten. Earlier this year, she married a single dad. This put a strain on our relationship because I wouldn't listen to her badmouth her stepson, who I'll call Caleb, age 7 years old. Caleb is on the spectrum and has some issues with impulse control and emotional regulation. He's in therapy for that, but Colette hates him regardless. I could endure listening to her delusions about how perfect she thinks her kids are, but shut her down for the nasty things she tried to say about Caleb. What remained of our friendship broke entirely a few months ago. That was when Caleb's mom said she needed a break and his dad needed to step up. Colette lost her mind. I'll let your imaginations fill in the blanks for all the ableist and hateful trash she vomited. I told her she should have known this was a possibility. Isn't it obvious that if you date someone with minor children you have to be prepared they could be a full-time responsibility? Colette screamed that of course she knew, but that only applied if Caleb's mother died. It wasn't fair that she ruined Colette's fairy tale romance where her new husband stepped in as dad for her kids, and Caleb was someone else's problem. I heard through the grapevine that Colette is getting divorced. Apparently she told her husband that her kids are perfect, his isn't, and he has to choose the better family they created, her 2 kids, and him, or the out-of-control brat even his ex doesn't want anymore. He chose Caleb. Knowing Colette, she's probably angry at everyone but the person who actually causes the mess, herself. Good for the husband and Caleb to get away from that witch. I'm glad the dad stood by his son. What a horrible person. Husband made the correct choice. His son should always come first. She really stands by her assertion that her little kids, multiple toddlers, have never, and will never misbehave or throw a tantrum? I can't imagine that's true, especially if they're spoiled, as most times those kinds of kids use tantrums to get what they want. They can't actually be perfect. Where is Colette, or what does she do when one of her kids has a fit? Or when they fight? Is she just in a corner with her fingers in her ears pretending not to see and hear that? She has 2 kids, and yes, she insists they are always perfectly behaved. She's the parent who argues that her kids will sit quietly through dinner at upscale restaurants, so her kids, and her kids alone, should be exempt for child-free events. She started asking me my credentials. I work in industrial clothing. I am a key holder for cash desk. Meaning, I am the can I speak to your manager. I'm young. I'm in my 20s. Young for a manager, but I am in my last semester of business management school and have prior experience in management before this job or my schooling. A main component of my job is also being a cashier. I ring people through while aiding the other cashiers with their transactions. It's important to note that being an industrial, we have a lot of affiliations with local companies and unions who receive discounts from us for bulk orders, and smaller discounts for their employees buying work gear. Some companies, not unions, lose their discounts for various reasons and therefore are removed from the discount registry. New cashier, NC, in high school, very mature and smart for her age. Her first week, but she's been there a couple days, so I'm at the till beside her listening in while I help customers. She got the hang of it and doesn't need help unless a new problem she has encountered yet pops up. Entitled woman EW steps up to be helped by NC. EW has a pair of steel-toe boots. She claims she works for X company. NC looks up X company in the registry and can't find it. NC asks EW if there are any possible other names it could be under in our registry or possibly part of a union, different registry. She insists it's called XComApney and it's there, so NC probably isn't smart enough to spell it right. This is where I step in. I ask her for any proof she works there. Work ID, pay stub, email from work, anything. This is protocol. She tells me she doesn't have to. I repeat, we need to see proof she works there. I ask as I look in the registry myself. I trust NC, I'm looking to appease EW. She looks through her phone for something to prove to me she works there, and I inform her that X company is not in the registry. She puts her phone down and gives me the look. EW, can I speak to your manager? My favorite question. Me speaking, ma'am, my favorite answer. EW, no, the person above you. Me, sorry ma'am, I am the highest position on the floor right now. EW, last year I got my discount, and no B asterisk TCH told me no. Me, we have had a change in management and the new policy is that we need proof that you work for a company in our registry. I'm sorry, it's not what you were expecting, but it's what we are allowed to do. EW, how long have you worked here? Me, sorry? EW, this needs to end now. You obviously aren't the manager. Probably just the owner's daughter. Get me the real manager now. I grabbed my walkie-talkie and called security. I need attendance till 2. She looks pissed to say the least. Our security guard comes up to the front to watch her. I reiterate I am who she can speak to today. She tells me her friend came last week and got her purchase with the discount. She insists on calling this woman to prove to me the discount exists. I tried to explain that this would not change our policy, and we still needed proof on our end, and proof she works there. She cut me off. Well, turns out the same thing happened last week, except her friend was much more gracious about it. Didn't fight us. EW still insists that we need to because she was told by her boss she would. I asked her how long ago her boss said this, as companies enter and exit our registry. EW, I'm not paying $130 for these boots. Me, okay, and I took them off the counter, put them on the floor beside me. EW's mother decides to enter. She comes to the counter and asks where the boots went. She realizes security is standing beside me as well as NC. We don't look happy. She touches her daughter's shoulder and whispers in her ear in a language I don't know. EW frowns and says, I'll take the boots. I leave NC to finish the transaction and go off with the security guard to discuss, still close so we can watch. The discount she was arguing over? 10%. $13. I may have just given it to her if she was polite, but she insulted my coworker. This sounds so much like a company here in Canada, Mark's Work Warehouse, where I have seen this exact same, with slightly different dialogue and characters, situation play out. People are so weird about their small company discounts there, which is weird because Mark's has often other sales or incentives to save even without the discount. I definitely would have given her the boot with my boot. You handled EW with professionalism and grace, which they can't stand. People just get off on the thought of getting over on others. The 10% had nothing to do with it. When saving $13 can make you feel a way your partner can't, it's sad for you. Oof. The last company I worked at that provided this kind of thing just told us to bring the receipt and we'd get the boot allowance added to our paycheck, similar to a per diem, of the no tax with receipt type. If we wanted to spend more than the allowance, that was fine, but there was a max, and I'm sure the setup was much easier on the sales employees than this scenario. I work in a call center. I would have terminated the conversation at the sound of the letter B. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.